Wow, an incredible hit.
Sebastian Lopez, Pastrana, take it, check it out.
And wow, what a season it's been already here in Las Vegas. Global Rallycross Championship. This is it, folks. The final bout of the season for the 2012 crown. And we've got some different rules for this round. Jen, take it through it.
We've already seen the first heat, so we're starting with round two. 2 heats of 7 cars. The top 4 in each heat will advance to the final. And the critical championship point is at grabs there for the winner of each heat. LCQ, 1 heat, 6 cars, and the top 2 advance to the final, and the final 10 cars.
So last night we had some heats which defined your start position here tonight. This is Tanner Faust in his heat, and I have to say, Jen, he really looked in command the whole way through.
Absolutely, that's the strategy. Get out front early and lead right to the end. You can see Thomas Topi Heikkinen there trying to chase Tanner Faust down in the long right-hand sweeping turn, but tough to do it when you've got the lead, and there's Tanner taking the checker.
So Tanner takes the checkered flag, but most importantly, he takes the bonus championship point for winning that heat. And then Brian Deegan comes up in heat number 4. He jumps the start, and he gets shuffled to the back, and there he is, getting stuck behind Samuel Hubinett in the orange Saab.
It is so tough to overtake on these courses anywhere other than on that shortcut. Samuel Hubinett really strong out front there as Severi tries to take him in the first corner, and those two are going to be battling it out while Brian Deegan bides his time and waits until his very last lap to take the shortcut and see if maybe, just maybe, he can come out in front of Samuel Hubinett for the checker.
And coming through the last turn, Deegan puts the hammer down, and he does take the checkered flag, takes the championship point, and that keeps Tanner Faust and Brian Deegan even coming into tonight. Fantastic racing already here in Vegas. Now let's take a look at the championship point story. There you see 73 to 67, only 6 points separating these two contenders. Right now, Alyssa Roenig is caught up with Tanner Faust. Alyssa.
This is it, the battle for the 6th and once I get into turn 1 with the sun the way it is, it's going to be chaos descending on Las Vegas right now. I can't wait to see it.
All right, so guys, I talked to Brian right as he got into his car. He said he knew he couldn't afford a jump start today. He's chosen some more soothing music, a little Hank Williams Jr. before the start of this race.
Thanks very much, Alyssa. Let's take a look at the Global Rallycross Championship course here in Las Vegas. 30% dirt, 70% tarmac in through the first turn into the Discount Tire America's Tire hairpin turn. At the exit of this turn, they have the option once per heat to take the shortcut. It's tight, it's technical, but it could be as much as 4 seconds faster than the long lap. On the long lap, you approach the jump. It's still 70 feet from the takeoff to the sweet spot, but it's all dirt this time. Once they get to the end of that, they got to be on the brakes fast and into this long right-hand turn. They can see the car on the shortcut here, so they're going to be trying to come out in front of whoever's on there in the course merge. And there they go, across the finish.
Well, let's take a look at the Discount Tire America's Tire starting grid for tonight. There you see them lined up for round 2, heat 1. Ken Block, Brian Deegan in the front row for this one, next to Samuel Hubinett.
That's a really tough spot for Brian Deegan to be in. Ken Block qualified in the #1 position. He's got the best position off the line. He's going to try and get into that first corner as the first car and lead wire to wire. We'll see what happens when they start.
Here we go. On the line, they are ready to go here in Vegas, and they're off for the first heat of the evening. Who's going to make it to the corner first?
A lot of crashing and banging and bumping. Those guys are blind into the sun at this time of day into that first corner, and Ken Block emerges first, and our new guy, Bryce Menzies, in second position.
What I noticed there is that we actually had a little bit of a pinch happening on Brian Deegan with Sverre Isaacson. So Brian Deegan right now is lagging behind, and that spells trouble for him.
And Brian, yeah, as these guys approach the jump, we're going to see Brian over the jump in just a second. He had a little bit of a bobble and hit a wall too, so that's going to be very tough for him to recover from.
And remember, folks, it's important to try and win these heats because there is one bonus chance. championship point ready for grabs. Ken Block, though, looking great out in front.
Very good #1 qualifier. His car is set up. It's very powerful, and it's working very well for him. He's also really comfortable on all of this dirt. He's been competing in the World Rally Championship, and he has no trouble with it at all. You can see the sun. We have Sverre Isaksson stopped on course. I didn't see what happened there, but maybe a mechanical problem. This sun is a real challenge. It's going to change as the heats continue, but it's a disadvantage right now, absolutely.
So the dust in the air, that's going to make quite a bit of a problem. I see Brian Deegan coming limping through there. You see Bryce Menzies just beaten on the back of Pat Morrow's Subaru. And look at the glare of these guys, not just the dust in the air, but what's happening there? That's the onboard of Brian Deegan, and he's stopped. He's out of the race. Oh, disaster for Deegan.
He was looking for that critical championship point that he could get by winning this heat, and there's no way he can do it now.
Oh, no, you saw his wife, Marisa Deegan, looking on. So he's not going to get the point, but most importantly, is he going to be ready for the last chance qualifier, which he's certainly going to end up in. Disaster for Deegan there. You see the fight between Bryce Menzies in the blue car and Samuel Hubinet in that orange Saab. This is great racing.
Very good battle. Bryce Menzies competed at X Games, so this is only his second time in that Dodge Dart as we ride along over the jump. He's doing very well. He's taken some time on the course and made some improvements to his driving style. He's a dirt racer usually, just won the Pro 2 championship for the short course off-road championship. But look at him go, putting the heat on Samuel Hubinet.
And while these two battle, you can see Ken Block is actually extending his lead a little, so that's really helping Ken Block in this race.
Being out front and having a clear track to run on is a definite advantage. You want to lead right from the start and try and hold it to the end. Look at that sun, just blinding, especially when you get in on the dirt section here. They get dust, and you just can't see anything from onboard.
It looks like Menzies is slightly faster in that Dodge Dart, perhaps, but he just can't find a way past the Saab of Hubinet. You see the white flag. This is it. One lap left to go in this race.
And there's Brian Deegan limping along the course. That's good news for him. He was able to get his car started again, but it's very clear that there's something wrong. We'll have to see what happens.
I think Brian Deegan was trying to play it smart here because he realizes the number of cars that advance. There are at least 2 cars out crippled on the course. He's just trying to hang on and maybe get a transfer spot and not go into the last chance qualifier, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Let's see what happens as they come to the checkered flag. Ken Block taking it above Samuel Hubinet. And there's Bryce Menzies. And I think it's going to be Mira taking that 4th spot. Well, there's the winner of our race. And there, unfortunately, is the leisurely drive across the line he didn't want to take. His wife, Marisa, incredibly disappointed. But Brian Deegan has to be crushed right now. He really needed that point. But again, it's not over till it's over. Tanner Faust still has to make sure he stays out of the last chance qualifier, Jen.
And what Brian's trying to do here is just knock off some of this lap. If he can do more laps than the 2 cars that stopped, he finishes ahead of them in this heat. So I almost wonder if it's maybe a transmission problem. He can't get out of 1st or 2nd gear.
Well, I think this was really all down to the way this thing started. Brian Deegan had a space in the front, but somehow he got crushed.
He's a very good starter, but Ken Block's car is powerful, and there he goes. He gets pinched in between Sverre Isaksson and Samuel Hubinet. The 3 of them just ride around that corner all at once. And he ends up way back at the back. Tough to recover from that in these short heats.
And here we see Dave Mira coming into the shortcut, really going hard onto that dirt, and he spins this thing around. Wow. He's just pushing it a little bit too hard in the Subaru there. But the real story, heartbreak for Brian Deegan in this heat. He limps over the line. Will he get the Ford ready for that last chance qualifier? You see the results there. Block, Hubinet, Menzies, and Mira unofficially advancing through to the final, and Brian Deegan just in 5th place. He goes to the LCQ. Welcome back, Vegas, Nevada. The Global Rallycross Championship Finals from the SEMA show. Take a look at this track. A lot of dirt. It's different to a lot we've seen. And there is the Olsberg team working hard on that Ford of Brian Deegan. The disappointment for him in that last heat, taking 5th and not transferring through. And Alyssa has caught up with Deegan. Alyssa, what's he got to say?
Brian, I know that was a disappointing first heat. What happened?
Well, I had an okay start. Came out with Ken pretty even, and we went in that first turn. I thought it was good. I was just tucking in with him, and then I just got plowed from behind, and I just turned into a big pile up. Everyone just kept running into each other, and I know it was kind of like amateur hour going through the first turn, so nothing I could really do about it. Just got ran into, blew my tire off the wheel, so that's racing. That's how it goes sometimes, you know? So, you know, I guess just have to return the favor someday.
When you got in here, I saw you run over to your mechanics. Do you think you'll be able to get the car back out there for the LCQ?
Yeah, there's the LCQ, so we got to get the car ready and get it ready to get back out there. Can't give up, you know? Just got to keep going. Anything can happen, and it's going to be an aggressive race. It's just how it is. And sometimes you got to fight all the way through it, and so that's what we're going to do. We'll be back.
All right, we'll see you out there.
Well, that was a very mature Brian Deegan there, and I don't think he's going to give up at all. We know that team is just fantastic. They'll get the car ready. But take a look at this again, Jen. Going into the sun.
They are absolutely blind. They can't see anything. Lots of bumping and banging. He did not get hit from the rear, but it's so chaotic, it's hard to tell what's going on. Got sandwiched in there. It's just crazy how they're fighting the sun.
But take a look at this sun. It's just incredible. You literally can see nothing. And as that dust started to build up, it got worse lap by lap. So now Brian just has to hang around and hope this amazing team of mechanics get the car ready and deliver him to the line for the last chance qualifier. But again, the most important thing for him is he lost the chance to get the extra point. Wow. So join the conversation with all the RallyCross fans right now on Twitter. Use hashtag ESPNGRC and experience racing on the social track. So there we go. Tanner Faust sitting on the line. Look at the starting grid for this race, though, and most importantly, who's next to Tanner Faust?
Timur Zanoff. He is the ERC champion for 2012. In this grid of these 7 cars, we have 9 of 10 European Rallycross Championship victories this season. Very competitive between Liam Doran, Tanner Faust, and Timur.
And all 3 of those racers are actually in this heat. So Timur Zanoff, and we've definitely been practicing this name all week long. The Russian is ready to do battle. We saw him in the heats and we saw him in practice, and this guy looks incredibly fast in that Best Buy Ford. Will he thwart Tanner on the extra point? And we're racing here in Las Vegas. Faust blisteringly fast into the first turn, and another pinch.
Those 2 guys fastest off the line, but Stefan Verdier is trying to capitalize on it. Timur, look at that Rallycross experience, defends his position and keeps Stefan Verdier out of his way. So the 2 of them are chasing each other down. Tanner Faust first through the shortcut while Timur goes for the longer lap.
So Faust, Doran, they go through the shortcut. There you see Timur Zanoff, the Russian, in that blue Best Buy Ford. He is going over the jump, so he still has the shortcut to take. We'll see if Faust was smart in getting out in front by doing the shortcut.
Timur was really excited about competing against Faust at this event in a virtually identical car. They've been in different cars this season in the European Rallycross Championship.
And that onboard there, you could see that Timur is pushing Verdier. He's trying to actually get past Verdier. And I think he actually knocked him off course. I wonder what the course officials will say about that.
It's that aggression, and you know there's a very fine line between a black flag and something that's okay and is going to get you a little bit of position. That's Liam Doran
off the side of the course, so that's the end of the race for him. He will have to go through to the last chance qualifier. Looks like Verdier is off the course also after being pushed out by Timur Zanoff. So remember, 4 will transfer through to the finals, and the other competitors in this race who are already sitting on the sidelines are actually going to have to go into the last chance qualifying. There's Faust going across the jump comfortably, followed by Timur Zanoff, and then Reese Millen.
There's Tanner on the dirt. He's looking to be tidy here and not lose any time as he emerges onto the tarmac and back into that first straightaway. He's got a nice lead on Timur. Timur's going to try and reel him in. and they've raced against each other in Europe, and I wouldn't count him out just yet.
So Tanner Faust is working his way through this course. He wants that bonus point from winning, so he is not going to hold back at all. He's not merely trying to transfer through to the final. He's trying to get a point, and he's trying to get a great lane choice. But Timur Zanoff is really chasing him down right now, and Rhys Millen giving up no ground in third place. Great racing for second and third as Faust comes through. 2 laps to go.
I just saw that Topi Heikkinen is also off this course, which could be good news for Bucky Lasek. He's trailing this pack right now, but it could give him an opportunity to advance.
So there you see close racing between the Hyundai of Rhys Millen and the Ford of Timur Zanoff. It looks like, was that something hanging off Timur Zanoff's car? Oh, look at the damage there.
Absolutely. Looks like he took a little bit of a hit earlier in the race. I would expect that would be from contact with another car, losing a bit of his fender there. Doesn't seem to be affecting his driving, but he might be thinking about it.
Rhys Millen is looking for a way through as they take the white flag into the last lap with Tanner Faust in a commanding lead now. Looks like Faust, if he races this one smooth, will get that 1 bonus point. Timur Zanoff there in the blue Ford, and Rhys Millen in the white and blue Hyundai. Oh, Millen going a little bit wide, tagging that tough block.
That Ford crew is going to be busy after this heat. They want to make sure every car is in fighting. Oh,
no! Timur Zanoff backs it in, but he blocks Millen.
And he spins it out, recovers, and he comes out in front of Millen. What an amazing...
How on earth did that happen? So Tanner Faust crosses the line. He wins the heat, takes the bonus point. Timur Zanoff somehow backs himself into victory, blocks the way for Rhys Millen, and then Bucky Lasek taking fourth. All kinds of carnage going on in that second heat. But the real story, that man there, Tanner Faust, you see the onboard of that Rockstar Ford. He will take 1 bonus point from this round and get a great lane choice in our finals. Wow.
Lots of action there. So that extends his championship lead over Brian Deegan by 1 more critical point as it all comes down to the racing today.
And you see Timur Zanoff limping off the course there. Here is the whole shot from the onboard. Just take a look at this.
Look at the sun. There's Liam gets hit by Topi, and all sorts of action here with Timur Zanoff squeezing in front of Verde. Look how chaotic it is through there. Just trying to hold the line.
Verdier giving Timur Zanoff a few little bumps there, which of course Timur repaid. And here they go. They have to make a choice for the shortcut. And wow, you see Tanner Faust going in there and Verdier getting stacked up behind Liam Doran. So they have to make a decision to take this. Do they go early or late?
And sometimes another car makes a decision for you. Looks like he took a little tap and had to go long.
And there we see Timur Zanoff coming over the jump. Rhys Millen goes wide. He thinks he's got a great line. And this is unbelievable. Timur backs into his way. They both have to slow down, and somehow the Russian comes out in front.
I cannot believe Timur Zanoff recovered from that and managed to hold on to the position. Look at him go sideways there.
And you think Rhys is going to squeeze through, but he goes so wide he has to put on the brakes.
Absolutely amazing racing.
Fantastic heat 2. There you see, unofficially, who advances through to the final here. And we're wondering if there's a penalty. We'll get correction on that one. To see, it says Timur Zanoff, Rhys Millen go through to the LCQ. So lots of excitement here in Las Vegas. It is the championship bout. Faust Deegan ready to do battle. Come on back and join us.
Hey, I'm Bryce Menzies here in Las Vegas, Nevada for Global RallyCross finale here at SEMA. Come take a ride with me in the GoPro course preview.
Coming up to the front straightaway, a little jump, start-finish line. Into turn 1, you downshift from 4th to 2nd. Tightens up really easy. You want to stay straight through the chicane, try to get as much speed as you can. Long sweeping turn 2, that tightens towards the end. You'll come down to 2nd, grab the handbrake, kind of get a little turn out of it. Wide open into 3rd, back down to 2nd for a nice hairpin turn. Make sure you're straight coming for the jump, shift to 3rd, about 55 miles an hour. Double jump into the dirt section, down to 2nd. You want to get real set up for this. It's super slippery. Grab it 3rd and then into 4th. Back onto the tarmac, wide open. Back to the front stretch to the start-finish line. And that's your GoPro course preview.
Welcome back, everyone, to Las Vegas and the final of the 2012 Global Rallycross Championship. Great racing we've seen here so far from Vegas. Jen, I think the dirt really is turning out to be the equalizer here on this track.
Absolutely. What it does is it means that the higher horsepower cars don't have the opportunity to get the power down to the ground. They're slipping wheels on the dirt, and it equalizes them. It turns this into a real driver's race. It's a driver's track.
And of course the story, Brian Deegan now has to fight his way through that last chance qualifier to even get a shot at the championship. How much pressure is he under?
So disappointing for him, but you know what? Brian Deegan has come back from worse before, and I wouldn't count him out. He's going to have to drive hard, and he's going to have to drive clean, but I think he can do it.
So let's take a look back at the results from round 2, heat 2. Faust winning it convincingly. Timrzanov, Millen, and then Lasik are the ones who advanced through to the final. And Doran, Verdier, Heikkinen, they will have to take their chances in the last chance qualifier. Tanner Faust winning the heat, and he's down right now with Alyssa Ronig. Alyssa.
All right, Tanner, convincing win. Now you and Timur have been battling it out in the European Rallycross Championship. What was it like to come out here and take a win against him in that first heat?
It was, you know, we were lined up 1 and 2, and on the inside you have the advantage, but with this track, the way it narrows like that, you don't know what's going to happen, and I could almost hear the crashing going on behind me. But he followed me, I think, on the shortcut, and so he ended up getting some damage in the last lap. So it's great. It's great. Anytime you can beat Timojano in anything, it's good because he's a very fast driver. Also, my main competition in the series, Deegan had some issues in his heat. Don't know how that shakes out, but so far we're moving into the front row of the final.
I saw you and Timrzanov talking when you got back. What were you guys talking about?
There's a girl in a purple dress that's stalking him that I think is cute, that I think you should talk to.
All right, serious track talk down here in the pits. Back to you guys.
Well, it doesn't really seem like Tanner Faust is under an awful lot of pressure here. Now there's 3 races left to decide another championship as the chase heads to Texas. It's the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series at Texas. Coverage begins Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN. So we're going to come back with the last chance qualifier and Brian Deegan's last chance for a championship. You don't want to miss it.
The NCAA is a place where stars are born. A chance to catch the legends of tomorrow, today. And with ESPN America's complete coverage from the regular season through to March Madness and the Final Four, you won't need to wait long for the next big thing. College basketball all season long on ESPN America.
Let's go now, bounce around, let's play with tempo, here we go. Play with tempo. Hey, make him work, Lloyd, he's not getting any better. Know the down and distance, know the down and distance. Right 4-8, right 4-8. Sonic, Sonic, push!
You know, our play calling system is a little bit unique.
It starts off with them sending a signal to us, and once they send in the signal to Steven, he'll make a call for the O-line.
No rim, block it normal. 4-2, right 4-9. NASCAR.
And once I know that Colby's ready, it's really just on me and what snap count we use for that particular play.
He's the one that's doing most of the calls up front.
Ready, wait. That's what it is. Bears, Bears, Bears. Texas, Texas, Texas. Wait. Finish shot, finish shot. Let's go, finish blocks now.
It just allows Steven to have more control because that's where it all starts, is up front.
It makes it a lot easier for them just to communicate through the line instead of me having to communicate.
Most importantly, I think it does give your offensive line an advantage and just creates less confusion.
And you're looking at the trophy for this race. And of course, it's a replica of the famous Welcome to Las Vegas sign that you see on Las Vegas Boulevard. What better place to crown the champion of one of America's most thrilling sports than this, the most exciting city in the world. And I love that boxing shot of Deegan and Faust right behind there. And this has proved to be quite a battle between those two guys. They were just 6 points apart, now 7 points apart. the championship way. Oh, take a look at this. You got to join the conversation. Hashtag ESPN GRC. NBA tonight? No way. Global Rallycross for sure, thanks to Denners. And Chemo Girl, Tanner for the win and the overall championship. Hashtag Team Faust. Now, you may have noticed, if you've been watching tonight, that Travis Pastrana has not been in the race. You remember in Texas, he had a little bit of trouble in the race there. Here you see him coming around the hairpin turn and screeching to a halt. And watch this, his shoulder out of the socket in significant pain. Right now, he's down with Alyssa Roenick.
All right, Travis, I know a lot of your fans were disappointed to not see you in a car. I know you're disappointed to not be in a car. What is it like to be out here on the sidelines?
Well, I mean, as like a team owner, I feel really proud of Bryce. I mean, the Discount Tire Dodge Dart Red Bull car is awesome. He's done a great job with it. I mean, coming off a championship, but for me, obviously, it's horrible to not be racing. It's really hard to sit on the sidelines, but really excited. GRC is really growing. I mean, to be here at SEMA is good. So all in all, it's good, but definitely looking forward to next year. And that's what we're going to be good. We're going to be 100% for next year, and really looking forward to hopefully come back out. The GRC is a lot of fun, and everyone from Dodge and Dart, and it's been good.
So are we supposed to believe you've been listening to your doctor and not doing anything?
To be perfectly honest, I have done a pretty good job now. We're doing, I've been watching my wife, she's keeping me entertained with the Nitro Circus live tour and everything, going to Europe and just watching her skate. So it's frustrating not being out there, and it is such a hard decision to go under the knife, when there's events and there's races still left. But I really want to be out there next year. I want to make a serious effort, and everyone's like, oh, we'll do this, do that. I'm like, you know what? I want to drive NASCAR, and I want to be a champion. So that's what we're gonna do.
All right, and you got to see Lindsay also win a car race as well, right? You guys celebrated an anniversary this weekend?
We did, but she's stuck in Maryland in the hurricane, and I was out here with all my crew and my friends in Vegas, so I guess that's not, I didn't score any brownie points there, but I think I got a good anniversary gift, so I love you, Lindsay, and hopefully you'll forgive me for being in Vegas on our anniversary. So good luck to Bryce, and hopefully it all works out.
All right, thanks, Travis. Let's get back to racing.
Thanks, Alyssa. What a grown-up he is. There is Bryce Menzies, and Travis is his, of course, his team owner. Bryce was racing great in his first heat. Well, the ACC and Pac-12 headline college football this Thursday and Friday night. On Thursday, Frank Beamer leads the Hokies' stifling defense against Al Golden's Miami Hurricanes. Then on Friday, Washington faces California in a Pac-12 North battle. College football primetime, Virginia Tech, Miami, Thursday at 7:30 on ESPN. Washington, California, Friday at 9 on ESPN2. More racing is coming up. It is the last chance qualifier. Can Brian Deegan get through to the finals to face Tanner Faust, who will win it tonight in Vegas?
.com will keep you covered with all the info you need. This is going to be fun.
And look at that amazing schedule. We're going global, folks, with X Games. That is just incredible. 6 events all year long, starting in Aspen in January and going all the way through to Los Angeles at the start of August. Some phenomenal spots. That first Iguazu place in Brazil just looks so beautiful, Jan.
Absolutely does. I'm kind of looking forward to Spain myself.
So different kind of X Games, a lot more X Games on tap for you this year. So next, let's take a look at the Puma race summary.
First heat, Ken Block gets out front there, and we're about to watch Deegan get pinched between Sverre Isaacson and Samuel Hubenet. All sorts of chaos in the first corner.
And this really was the defining moment for Brian Deegan. There you see bits of Dave Mira's car still hanging on. You can see the awesome zombie cat logo on the side of those Subarus. And the onboard shot, you can see how bad the glare was in those heats. And Brian Deegan, unfortunately, moving through to the last chance qualifier.
I believe this is Brian Deegan's very first last chance qualifier this year. He's not used to being in this position.
And then in the second heat, we saw the launch there coming from Ian Lauren. And again, look at that onboard, all kinds of mess going on, bumping Timur Zanoff, and this allowed Tanner Faust to get out front, get out in that clean air. This great battle between Timur Zanoff and Millen.
What a great recovery on Timur's part there. That just shows the experience of both of those drivers, that wasn't a collision. And Timur stays in the lead. Amazing, amazing driving.
So they will advance. Brian Deegan, unfortunately, is now sitting on the line for the last chance qualifier. He has to get through this, to get into the final, to challenge Tanner Faust for that championship here tonight. There is his wife, Marisa Deegan, looking on, and everybody in that whole Deegan Metal Militia crew, it looks pretty nervous. They know this is so incredibly important. Let's take a look at the grid.
We've got 4 cars in this grid because we had a couple cars that were not able to be repaired and come back. Brian Deegan is in the best position on that grid, and he's going to be looking to lead right from the start.
So, Brian Deegan, ready to do battle again. He doesn't have the glare this time, and it looks like he might get the whole shot.
That was a great, clean start, but look at everybody bashing and banging doors, and there's Stefan Verdier in the mix again, trying to take the advantage, but Deegan comes out in front.
That was phenomenal racing from Brian Deegan. He didn't take the pressure that Verdier and Isaacson were laying on him, and he managed to somehow squeeze through the... Oh, you see Verdier tags the takeoff of the landing, and that was Isaacson right behind him, and it looks like Isaacson may have stalled the Subaru.
That's a good advantage for Brian Deegan because now he's got a nice cushion of space around him just to run his own line. If he can play it safe here, he's going to advance.
So the top 2 in this race advanced through to the final, and there you see Brian Deegan in that Rockstar Ford. He is really quite a good few car lengths ahead of Stefan Verdier, and Verdier has a little bit of damage there on the front of the car. So Verdier, I think, will also think about holding his position.
Yes, what I think we're seeing with Verdier is just a little bit of torn fender. Shouldn't interfere with his race very much, but he's an experienced racer. Oh no, we're gonna see a spin there from Stefan Verdier, which allows Toppy Thomas Heikkinen to come ahead, and now he's trying to chase down Brian Deegan.
Oh no, that's a disaster for Verdier. He looked really comfortable there in that Hyundai, but the spin on the dirt, we talked about this dirt being the defining factor in this race. There's a lot more dirt than we've seen all season. Verdier spins that allows Heikkinen to go through.
It's very important to be clean and tidy on the dirt. We'll see Brian Deegan come up over the jump and into this right-hand turn. Keeping it clean and keeping it tidy is the fast way through. It doesn't look the showiest, and that was maybe a little bit of show, but it's the fastest way. And Stefan Verdier is going to continue to try and race. You don't know what's going to happen. Toppy is trying to chase Brian Deegan down here, but who knows? Anything can happen in Rallycross.
As we have seen in this race and all season long, it ain't over till it's over, so Brian Deegan has to play smart here. He needs to make sure he makes all of those gear shifts, negotiates every corner, and especially takes this jump smoothly.
Brian Deegan is an excellent driver. That was butter on the landing. That was a perfect, perfect jump. It's about 70 feet from the takeoff to the landing, and they've got to be going about 55 miles an hour. 61's way too far, and 49 will cause you to short.
And you say about 55 miles an hour, but how do they gauge their speed in those cars?
They do not have a speed gauge. They have no way to know exactly how fast they're going other than just to feel it. And Brian Deegan, with all of his motocross experience and all of his air experience, has no trouble with that at all.
And I think a big surprise for people when they first come and look at these cars, there is no speedometer. Don't look down at your speed like in your Ford at home. He literally is feeling this thing, listening to his car, and so far, I've got to say, it looks like he is running a very, very smart race.
That's the way to do it. Just knock down those laps and stay out front from the beginning to the end. It's the strategy that has worked heat after heat after heat. And that's what he's going to be trying to do. He's a very good driver. If you look at the computer outputs that show what's happening inside the car, he has the fastest gear changes on his team. And every one of those gear changes just gives him a fraction of a second faster speed than some of his teammates.
So he negotiated that turn really carefully coming into the jump. He sees he's got a huge lead over Thomas Topi Heikkinen. So Brian Deegan will come through to take the checkered flag. He makes it. He will go through to the final. He will challenge Tanner Faust for the championship here in Vegas tonight.
Very good driving from Brian Deegan. Tough spot to be in. First LCQ of the year, but he aced it.
and the top 2 advance, and at the end of this race, only 2 cars were actually left running. Brian Deegan and Topi Heikkinen. There you see Deegan, thoughtful. He needs to plan now for that finals. Look at this whole shot.
Very good start from Topi as well on the outside in the black car. All the bumping and banging. And there's Deegan coming around with Stefan Verdier. Just everybody going for that same line.
But awesome how Brian Deegan perseveres, and he gets clear of those guys as soon as he can put the power into all 4 wheels of that car, and that's where Verdier and Isaacson have their disaster. Take a look at this.
It's tight and narrow and very slippery in there, and you can see Stefan Verdier gets on the wrong side of that mud. Unfortunately for Isaacson, it ended his race there as well.
There you see this onboard shot. He's chasing Brian Deegan and slips right into that takeoff. And here, Marissa Deegan, look at how relieved she is that Brian moves through to the final. And there's Brian running back through to the pits, advancing to the final. Brian Deegan, Thomas Heikkinen. This is going to be a fantastic final. When we come back, Tanner Faust and Brian Deegan duke it out in Vegas. Welcome back, everyone, to the Global Rallycross Championship final here in Las Vegas, Nevada at the SEMA show. And you're just taking a look over our phenomenal Global Rallycross track here. And for the first time, you can actually place a bet on a Global Rallycross race because you can go to the sports book.
Executive Director of Race and Sports Operations at Wynn Las Vegas. I've been in the casino business for over 30 years, race and sports side of it about 26. Rallycross about a week.
You know, when you come to Vegas, it wouldn't surprise me that they put odds on it. It's really cool, though. Get some people over there, throw some money down, and make the race a little more fun.
Ken Block is, the second in the X Games, and so he's in the 7th position at 12-1.
Well, that'd be fairly consistent for how my year's gone.
Ken Block at 12-1. Shoot, I'm gonna go bet right now. That's pretty good.
When you look at the winners of the races through the year, there's a winner at each race. So it's, it's hard to say we have an overwhelming favorite. So there's only one winner of all the races who's going to compete, and that's being Tanner Faust.
What does that mean exactly, 5-2? Yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, it'd be interesting to see. So what was Brian?
Deegan hasn't really won, but I know he was second in Las Vegas. He's got a couple of thirds, so if you're looking for somebody that does have that consistency, that's him.
Can we bet on ourselves? Perfect. Here we go.
I'm good. I don't gamble anymore. Just not into it.
Dave Mira hasn't shown a lot on paper this year, so he's 20-1. So I don't look for him to win it, so that'll be a real surprise for me if he does.
I see a couple guys in there that are way overrated, but no, I'm just kidding. No, it's good. It's good. I'm not last. That's good.
I wonder how many guys actually ran over to the win and put money. Look at these odds. 5-2 for Faust. 3-1 odds on Brian Deegan coming into this event. I think he still has pretty good odds, though. And I was surprised to see actually Liam Doran getting such good odds out of the book there. Let's see how it all runs out here in Vegas tonight. The final, Faust and Deegan being the story. They have a championship fight going on, and Alyssa is down with Brian Deegan.
All right, Brian, you're not letting this one go easily. All right.
I gotta go. I'm gonna go try to win this race from the back, so we'll see what happens.
Sorry,
Brian Deegan is rolling out there. He's trying to get himself lined up on the grid. I love the fact that he has these bright red accents on his car, Jen. It's just so Halloween. It's fantastic.
I love them in the cooling ducts on the sides as well. It's not just the headlights. They're not doing anything for his visibility at all.
People look how angry that car is.
Cool.
If this thing is behind, I'd just get out of the way. I wouldn't even, I'm like, you'd be scared. It's the shark in the water, which is exactly what he hopes to be, because this is a real fight for him. Coming from the back row, though what we've seen in those other heats, it's been a bit of a challenge coming through. There's Tanner Faust on the left, Timur Zanov, the Russian driver, his first Global Rallycross, been putting in a great piece of work.
I'm not sure what they're talking about there exactly, but it looks like Tanner's giving him a little bit of advice, how to work the gear shift, how to get through the gears, and how to
block
do well.
Brian Deegan.
Exactly. Perhaps that's his motivation there. But, you know, the 14, they've all been very supportive of each other and very helpful to each other throughout this whole season.
And you're looking on board Brian Deegan. Now the question is whether he lays back a little bit, hopes that some carnage happens in front of him, as we've seen in the other races, and then he just somehow manages to thread his way through.
You know, that's a tall order, but we have seen that happen in previous races with Brian Deegan.
Now, at the top of the show, you may remember we saw this epic crash that happens in practice. And last time we were in Las Vegas, we also had a crash on the jump.
Richard Burton locked up all four there on the brakes, trying to avoid going over it at all, and just shorted and came down on the tarmac. Now there's this one going a little bit too slowly, about a mile an hour too short. That's what happens. You do not want to go short on the jump.
And Jen, you are well known for being the first person to flip a rally car back at X Games, so you know how much that can hurt. Alyssa, you're down with David and Richard right now.
I am. You guys, a couple of spectacular crashes. Richard, I'll start with you. How are you feeling? It's been about a month since your crash. Give us an update.
I'm actually feeling pretty good. I mean, I would have liked to have been out here today, but you know, it's great to come out and just see the other teams run. So
hard to get that back brace into the car, I guess.
You know what? Another few weeks and then a lot of physio, and I should be back.
All right, yesterday's crash, pretty spectacular, but you seem to be in one piece. Your car, on the other hand, not so much. When did you find out that they wouldn't be able to have the car ready for today?
The guys looked at it really hard, and you know, we if they could have, the OMC team would have had that car out ready, and we were short of a bit of luck. And unfortunately, this morning they said, you know, we were going to hope to get out last chance qualify at the worst, but they couldn't do it. Yeah, it's a big shame for the team, for eBay, everybody. You know, we've all worked hard this year, and we wanted to be out there, especially here at SEMA. And you know, there's next year, and we're going to come back with a charge, and hopefully we can be right at the front.
We're about to go into the final. We've got our 10 drivers set. Who's your money on?
I've been liking the Saab, actually. It's been running pretty strong, and Ken's car. Those are my two.
You're asking me a real tough one here. You know, we've got two of my teammates in the OMC camp, but both fighting out for the championship today. Brian and Tanner, I wish you both the best of luck. And obviously the best buy teammate of Tima, who is my man. Hopefully he can do it too. So hopefully a Ford.
All right, well, we look forward to seeing you guys back here in 2013.
Thank you very much.
Amazing what these guys will go through and still want to get back in the cars. Well, we got BCS Bowl implications. They're on the line Saturday night in the Big 12 as Heisman hopeful Colin Klein and the unbeaten Kansas State Wildcats continue their title hunt against Oklahoma State. Saturday Night Football presented by Windows 8. Oklahoma State versus Kansas State, Saturday at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ABC. And coming up, the final, Tanner Faust leading the championship. He wants to take down Brian Deegan and win again. Brian Deegan waiting on the line. Can he make the run and get past Faust? Be sure to join us when we come back for the final. We are back here in Las Vegas, the Global Rallycross Championship here at the SEMA show. And SEMA, we've been saying this all night, it's a pretty strange acronym. Well, we got together with our drivers and we asked them, what does SEMA stand for?
Do you know what SEMA stands for?
Hell, does anybody know what SEMA stands for? It's I know that there's got to be showgirls in there. That's the S, right?
That is a great question. I actually have no idea. It stands for awesome.
No, I actually don't.
Oh, SEMA? That's a good one. I was just thinking that the other day. And I actually figured it out the other day, but I'm going to have to...
Take a stab at it.
Take a stab? No, I ain't even going to do that.
No idea.
Can you give it a shot?
Nope.
I think SEMA stands for See Everything Made Automotive.
That's exactly right.
I have no idea.
Hey, motor, what I say, super, exotic, Motor Association.
That's exactly right.
Really?
No.
I love Dave SEMA's idea. He was pretty close, though. You're on board there with Brian Deegan. Look at the scenarios for Brian to win. If he gets first place, Faust has to finish 5th or worse. Second, it's 8th or worse. And then 3rd place is last. And Jen, what does SEMA actually stand for?
For the record, that would be the Specialty Equipment Market Association, a very large aftermarket automotive parts show. All the cool stuff you want to see on your car is in the SEMA show. It's a great trade show.
There you have it, friends. I walked through it today. It is just absolutely unbelievable. So much Guga in there. I got lost and wore out the battery on my cell phone. So Tanner Faust looks very calm, cool, and collected, but he has a lot of dogs chasing him as he goes into that first turn here. Look at the points as they stand right now. Oh, things have changed just a little bit at the top.
Indeed they have. Tanner Faust got his heat win. Brian Deegan did not, extending Tanner's lead by 1 critical point.
So this is it. What an absolutely beautiful night in Las Vegas.
Oh, look, there's the Eiffel Tower.
And you can see the Eiffel Tower as we have a tweet from France. Join the conversation, everyone. Hashtag ESPN GRC, Jonathan NASCAR. Hello, guys. I'm watching the GRC from France. Here it is 1:30 a.m., but I love Rallycross. We love you too, Jonathan. Go, Steph Verdier. Well, we'll see how Verdier does. Well, Brian Deegan is on the line. He's ready to do battle, but he had a little tour of Las Vegas, Brian Deegan style.
What's up, Brian Deegan here. This is my Las Vegas review. Favorite casino? Man, that's a tough one because there's always new ones, you know? It's always changing. Now I stay in the Deegan Casino, my motorhome. I don't know, I've stayed at the Hard Rock a lot, and we eat there a lot, some good sushi places there that I think are pretty good. I like going to comedy stuff, you know, stuff that's funny. I remember a long time ago, we went to Gallagher. It was like this old comedian, dude, and I thought like that was pretty cool. Like, I don't know, just things that were different. I like going to stuff that's funny. For me, when I come to gamble, I'm always playing craps. I love rolling dice. Like, that's the funnest way to lose your money slow. You know, like craps, it takes you a while to lose your money. Go to blackjack, man, it goes so quick. I watched a story on Binion's Casino. That was pretty cool. I thought those dudes are pretty gangster, the way they did everything there. So some of the older casinos were like, I think, the originals, you know? Honestly, the best place for my kids in Vegas is the Speedway at the racetrack. They get out here, it's all about racing. You know, we camp out, they have fun. The key to Vegas, though, is I think it's a thinking that people have. They come here with a set amount of money that they're gonna lose. And they're like, okay, I'm coming out, say it's $1,000 or $2,000, whatever it is. You may go up $5,000, you may go up $10,000, and you're like, yeah. But for some reason you spend it till it's gone, right? Instead of just going, I'm out, cool, like I just made $10,000, you know? That's the toughest thing about Vegas is knowing when to just say, all right, I'm out, you know? But then again, they didn't build this whole city on casinos losing money, you know what I'm saying?
For the extended version of Brian's Vegas review, log on to xgames.com/GRC. Experience GRC in Vegas like never before. Brian Deegan sitting on the line. Can he take down Tanner Faust? The final is next. Join us. We are back in Las Vegas, Nevada for the final of the 2012 Global Rallycross Championship. One race left here tonight, and it is the final. You can see in the front row is Tanner Faust. That's the guy on your left. In the very back row, Brian Deegan. They are competing for this championship in this race. Take a look at the Discount Tire, America's Tire starting grid for this race.
Competitive all forward front row. Look at Tanner Faust right there in the middle. The guy who's trying to overtake him in the championship points is way back in the 4th row. It's going to be incredibly hard, but Brian Deegan is excellent in traffic.
And we certainly saw Bryce Menzies, you're seeing on your screen on the left there. He was very fast racing with the orange Saab. You can see behind Ken Block, that's Samuel Hubinet. So Brian Deegan is going to have to play some smart strategy. Tanner Faust just wants to get out in front as fast as he can.
That's the strategy, stay out in front for the whole race. Brian Deegan doesn't have that option. That's the look from Brian Deegan's car. Look at all those cars in front of him. It is just like X Games. He was in the 4th row and came back to medal in 3rd. We'll see if he can do it again, but he's got to win.
Here we go, people. Oh, a missed start for Reese Millen. Who's going to get the whole shot?
Those 3 Fords in a sandwich again through that first corner, and Ken Block comes out in front.
Wow, Tanner Faust got pinched in the middle. I've got no idea how he managed to get out there. Samuel Hubinet close behind. They're taking the shortcut early, Jen.
Yep, and you saw Teamer make the move around the long track. That's a smart move for him. He's hopefully going to have a little bit of clean track to race and try and come in later in the race, come in at the front of the pack. But here we say Ken Block and Tanner Faust battling it out. Those guys are on 2 different Ford teams, so their cars are a little bit different spec, but they are equally competitive.
Tanner Faust wants to get past Block. He just wants to get the best possible finish he can to make sure that Brian Deegan doesn't stand a chance in this championship. But what a great race so far this evening has been for Ken Block.
Very, very great start, and we can see Samuel Hubinet here in 3rd. I'm looking out at the course and noticing that Brian Deegan is actually behind Bucky Lassick, who's a much slower driver. Just hasn't shown the speed all year, and it's going to be very tough for him to work his way through traffic. There he is.
There you see the angry red eyes of Brian Deegan chasing down Bucky Lassick and Topi Heikkinen. Very surprised that Deegan took the shortcut early and followed the rest of the cars through. I really thought he would have taken the jump and saved that shortcut.
I think that's the move I would have made too. Brian Deegan is excellent in traffic though, and you cannot question his instincts. Sometimes he just finds holes through the traffic that nobody else sees, and there was a reason he did it, and he thought it was to his advantage. Let's see how it plays out.
So he is trying to find a way through to get past Bucky Lassick. Meanwhile, Ken Block still out in front, just racing a phenomenally smart race, keeping Tanner Faust at bay.
On board with Tanner Faust, watching him try and reel Ken Block in, trying to get a nose around him somewhere. I don't think they're going to do it over the jump, but look, Tanner is gaining on Ken.
And while those two are actually battling, the orange Saab of Samuel Hubinet is also closing in on them. Oh, Tanner tagged the inside corner there. So Tanner bounced, lost a little bit of ground on Ken Block.
That was all of that time that he tried to reel back, and he just lost it all. He's going to try and get it in the next lap.
And
just incredible.
We got a report from race control. No penalties there for Tanner Faust for going to the inside. He actually penalized himself by hitting that roll of dirt. Oh, Faust is looking on the inside there.
Trying to make room, just trying to get around him, and he can't find the space. This is some excellent racing from Ken Block out front here, just blocking, not allowing Tanner Faust to get in front there.
You see those brake lights come on with Block. Faust, though, I mean, he's looking for it. He's going to get through. Will he make it through? Tanner Faust passes Ken Block for the lead.
Wow, look at him now. He's out front, and what he has to do is race the rest of this race clean. Nobody can overtake him in the shortcut. Nobody still has to do it. So all he has to do is hold that position, and he's going to win this race and this championship.
So Faust now has to race very smart. Oh, it looked like Ken Block pulled off there on the corner, approaching the jump. So now Samuel Hubinet is chasing down Tanner Faust, then Timur Zanoff.
You can see some smoke from Ken Block's car. He's getting out. That means he thinks it's serious. There is smoke coming from under the hood of the car. He would have cut the engine. That's an oil fire. That he's got to get out of the way.
Now the real question is, if you red flag this race because of a car on fire, the drivers are told to stay in the car unless they have a fire threat. You see the red flags going, and with 2 laps to go, I think we are going to call this one. And with Tanner Faust in front.
Amazing. So that is a red flag. That's going to mean a restart. They've got to put Ken Block's car out. It's possible that they will call it in the finish order that they crossed the line on that last lap. We'll have to hear from race control, but they had to make a safety decision.
There is an option to restart this race because of a red flag. We did have 2 laps left to go here. And Ken Block very, very sensibly getting out of that car. So there's Tanner Faust making his way back through to the pre-grid. If they decide to go with a restart, they'll actually get to refuel these cars. And if there are any cut or damaged tires, they get to replace those. But Ken Block was racing such a phenomenal race there. And it all went wrong.
An incredible performance. You do not want to see that high pressure hose on your engine. They're going to put the fire out, but that's tough. See if he can do it
Waiting
again.
for the decision. Here are the onboards from Brian Deegan on the right and Tanner Faust on the left. Look at the difference between the traffic. It's like a 405 in Los Angeles on the right for Deegan, and Faust just sees Ken Block on the left there squeeze through. Deegan in all kinds of traffic, and I think Bryce Menzies went up in the back of someone.
And you see him trying to stay a little bit back there and try and stay out of the trouble. He hits the blocks there going around the corner, but he had nowhere else to go.
And there you see the car of Dave Mirra trying to cut it a little too much. Oh, wow, going through so many of those blocks, but not advancing. And here is that pass for the lead. Faust was all over Ken Block and just nudges him, and bye-bye.
And let's see what it looks like from on board Tanner Faust's car, just finding that little tiny bit of space and squeezing his car through it.
And the flames coming out of the back of Ken's Ford there. It looks like the Batmobile when he's racing, and dumping all that fuel out of the back of the exhaust. That was not the problem. It looked like, as you said, Jen, an oil fire on board. Look at the disappointment there. Ken Block, the head hoonigan. You've seen, no doubt, his Gymkhana series of videos, which are a YouTube sensation. I mean, I don't even know how many, 100 million views for all of these things. The guy is a great race car driver, and I really felt that he was going to do well. And you said, Jen, before this started, in the break, you said you thought Ken Block maybe was going to take it tonight.
Yeah, we had a little conversation, and I thought, you know what, this could be Ken Block's win this year. Just amazing.
So the call comes from race control. We are going to restart our final, which means another chance for Brian Deegan, this guy you're looking at, to take out Tanner Faust. So they don't want the race to end on a red flag. We're going to have them go and refuel these cars, get set up on the grid again. So the final, it's not over yet, folks. Faust, Deegan are still going to do battle here. When we come back, don't go away.
Prepare for your bones to rattle. Raw speed and power. Noise and flame mightiness. The loudest machines on the planet are here to roar. NHRA Drag Racing. It's louder on ESPN America.
Starters are out here at SEMA. How long have you been coming to SEMA, and what brings you out this year?
I've been coming to SEMA for a long time. I feel like it's been maybe 10 years almost. So it's such a staple in the schedule every year. And it used to mean it was totally the end of the season, and it was very much the off season for me. But now that I drive NASCAR, it's right at the end. So I mean, I come out here for all my sponsors. So right now it's Chevy. I've got a peak appearance later today, and they keep me busy.
Some of the drivers wanted me to ask what it would take to get you into a RallyCross car.
You know, I feel most comfortable on pavement. I'm not a sideways driver, really. I don't like to be in there, so I feel like I should play to my strengths, and I'm going to stay on the pavement for now. But maybe sometime it'd be fun to give it a shot, I guess.
Cool. 3 races left to decide the championship as the chase heads to Texas. The NASCAR Sprint Cup Series at Texas. Coverage begins Sunday, 2 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. And I'm sure that Danica would love to get in one of these cars, but you're going to see her this weekend as she races in NASCAR. Now, come on, everyone. Join the conversation. I did. You can see our awesome view from the booth here. Hashtag ESPNGRC on Twitter. So get on there and tweet and take a look at the phenomenal view that Jen and I have from up here. Alyssa, this has obviously been tough for Tanner Faust. He had that lead there, but now he's got to go out and do it all again. How is he feeling?
All right, Tanner, do over. So I know you guys strategize very much about conserving your tires. How does this change your strategy going into this second final?
Well, I mean, right now the tires are warm, so you can't actually change all the tires. So we want to keep these on here for the good start. It's too bad because Ken and I had the greatest race going. You know, it didn't make sense for me to take the jump when he went on the shortcut because I could have got stuck in traffic. But I followed his Fiesta all over the place. I saw where I might be able to get him. He went the tiniest bit wide on one corner, and I got inside him on the straightaway. It was such a good feeling, I can't even describe it. And now it's almost for nothing. So because we finished more than half the laps, we start in the position that we were at in the race. And so I get the first starting position, and I think there's only going to be maybe 3 laps. It's going to be a sprint.
All right, so one more time, you and Deegan. Deegan gets another chance. What do you think he's been doing to the karma gods? He's got one more chance. You've got Deegan out there on the line.
Well, it's definitely, you know, benefits him probably that we get to go again, but you know, it's a fun track. I'm ready to run it. I'd like to do it kind of fair and square, but I felt like I kind of worked for that pass. It just came down to one official saying, maybe Ken's car is going to burn, maybe it isn't going to burn, just in case, let's throw the red flag. So they erred towards caution, which I understand, so we're doing it again.
All right, good luck.
All right, thank you.
Well, Tanner actually, I'm afraid to tell him that he's going to have to run all 8 laps. So we're going to run this as if it had never started. Here's the scenarios for Brian Deegan, though. He gets first. Again, Faust, 5th or worst. Second place, Tanner has to finish 8th or worst. And judging by how Tanner's racing right now, Jan, that would be a huge surprise.
It would be a massive surprise, but again, anything can happen. Tanner now has the best starting position on the grid, and he is one of the best starters in this field. He's very, very hard to get around on that first straightaway. If he makes it through that first corner first, we're going to look for him to win. But you never know. Brian Deegan might be able to chase him down.
And you've got to get through that first corner. We've seen a lot of drivers on the front row have trouble because you get pinched from both sides, you get tagged from the back, and just that little bit of damage, maybe to your cooling system or another important functional part of the car, it could mean disaster.
And what Brian Deegan's going to want to do, he's a couple rows back. So he's looking through all this traffic. He knows he cannot come into that first corner first. There's almost no way for him to do it. So he's going to make a strategic move here. He's going to pick who he wants to follow through that first corner. He's not going to try and pass and go in there, or he's just going to get banged and bumped around and lose position. So he's going to make a choice. Who's he going to follow through that corner that he thinks is going to make a clean sweep through that corner and not cost him too much time?
So it takes a little while here. They all have to go to a refueling pen. Obviously, we need safety when we're putting fuel in these vehicles, so they're at the pen. You can see them all lined up there, ready to get the fuel in the cars. They'll go to the pre-grid, and then we'll set them up. Tanner Faust in that enviable pole position on the start line. Brian Deegan, unfortunately, I've got a feeling he may still be pretty far back there. We'll have to see when they get them lined up what position he's going to be in. And there are the angry red lights of Brian Deegan's car on the left. Tanner rolling up next to him. You've got to remember, they're great friends off the track.
They are. This team, they're all very supportive of each other. You saw earlier Tanner was giving advice to his new teammate Teamer in the Best Buy car. Early on, when Deegan first started racing with Tanner, there was a lot of information exchange and helping each other be better. I think that may have shut down a little bit this weekend, but they're certainly still good friends. Maybe just not quite as much information transfer.
And I think the good thing is the guys actually get a little bit of a breather after they've been working hard. This is the current standings. Tanner Faust with 74 points because of the 1 point he got from that heat win. Brian Deegan now is 7 points behind him. We saw the scenarios, Jen. It is going to be a pretty tall order for Brian Deegan to win this championship, but I think he can do it because we've seen amazing things happen.
Yeah, as I said earlier, after the false start he did at X Games, he ended up way back in the 4th row and came right back to the front and finished 3rd behind Sebastian Loeb and Ken Block. Just an amazing drive from him. He's great in traffic.
So Brian Deegan getting strapped in. There are the angry headlights of his Ford Fiesta. Ken he get the championship with Tanner Faust making mistakes? Find out when we come back. Getting ready for the restart here in Las Vegas of our final red flag due to fire in Ken Block's car. Tanner Faust already sitting in his car in the envied position on the pole here at Global Rallycross. The competitor for this championship and his teammate Brian Deegan, well, he's going to be just a little further back in the grid, but he's hoping to throw a Hail Mary and get past Tanner Faust. Alyssa, what's he got to say for himself?
Hail Mary indeed. The karma gods are smiling on you today. What, if anything, are you going to change about your strategy in this second final?
Well, it's good. I'm glad we're going out here, get a race again. It gives me another chance. And these cars have a time limit on them. They only last so long. So I think we're looking good. We're going to go out, have some fun. Hopefully I can do what it takes to win this championship coming from behind. So I can't wait to go battle.
You said you like the pressure. You said the nerves are off. You were listening to a little Hank Williams Jr. Are you still focused going into this? How are your nerves right now?
I feel good. I mean, I really just got a second chance at racing, so this is good for me. We're going to go out and battle, and you never know, you never know what's going to happen.
All right, Brian, good luck.
Brian looks exceptionally happy, I have to say, Jenny. He looks like he got a great second chance.
Yeah, he certainly looks happy. It was interesting what he said there, where the cars have a time limit on them. And really, that's a good way of putting it. They're so highly built. They're so built out. They run so hot. They put so much stress on all of the components that when they run even an extra 0.6 of a mile, which is what this one lap is, something could break, something could fail. They're built light and powerful, and unfortunately sometimes just a little bit fragile.
Well, and that really, I think, from Brian's perspective, is what he's hoping might happen to his teammate there, the 34 Rockstar Ford Fiesta, Tanner Faust. I think, from my perspective, watching Tanner all weekend and obviously all season long, something would probably have to go wrong in this race for Tanner not to get better than fifth.
I think so. And when you're in an identical car to your teammate, you're not wishing any ills on anybody else's car. And here we are on the grid with Tanner Faust, as you said, in that enviable pole position.
But what I do see on the far side, the orange Saab. Now that Saab is being incredibly fast. It's fast off the line, and it's big and brawny, and it might pose a problem when they all pinch down into that right-hander on turn one.
I think so. Those three drivers in the front row are very experienced racers. Samuel Hubenet, very familiar with Tanner Faust. They did Formula Drift together, and they're not afraid to get inches from each other's door, and he's very aggressive.
And the guy in the middle, the blue Best Buy Ford, that's Timur Timrzanov, the Russian who has already won. He's already the champion in the European Rallycross Championship, so he beat Tanner out for that one. Not a contender in the championship here, but could be a spoiler.
Absolutely, spoiler for the points, and he's just going to be trying to win here too, like everybody else. He doesn't care about the points race. He just wants to win his first race on U.S. soil.
So this is it, folks. Get off the couch at home. This is going to be exciting. The final runs again. This is the Global Rallycross Championship from here in Las Vegas. Can Tanner Faust get out front, get out clean, or will Brian Deegan be able to take it?
Oh, wow. Tough start for Timur, but there's Tanner basically unchallenged as he heads into that front corner.
Look at Deegan go! That is unbelievable. He took that outside line, all kinds of carnage.
Oh,
Brian Deegan in fourth already.
That was amazing. I can't believe he got all the way up to that position, and this is a smart move. There he goes. He's taking the long lap. He's going to make some space around himself, all sorts of carnage in the shortcut, but there's Brian Deegan over the jump, and he's going to see what happens. He's going to take the long lap and leave it till later to take the shortcut and see if he can come out front.
You see the shot there, Reese Millen in the blue and white. That was Samuel Hubenet in the orange as Bryce Menzie is sideways on the course. Hubenet is racing incredibly aggressively. He already put Tanner Faust sideways, then almost took out Millen, took out a whole lot of tough blocks. This is crazy aggressive racing as Brian Deegan goes for the shortcut. Will he come out in front of Tanner Faust? Let's watch this one.
Brian's gonna have to be tidy. You've got to use everything you've got to make this count, and it's gonna be tough.
Oh, it's not gonna be enough. Faust in front of Deegan.
Barely, so close. Now we'll see if Brian Deegan can rein him in on the course here. Amazing racing between these two teammates and championship contenders.
Oh, you saw a little puff of dirt there as Tanner Faust hooked the inside. Oh, and bumps a couple of those tough blocks too. I don't think they're going to be penalized for that. Brian Deegan coming through, Reese Millen in the Hyundai right behind him, and then the orange Saab of Samuel Hubernet. This is phenomenal racing here in Vegas tonight.
You saw how long Brian Deegan went on the jump. Trying to make up time over the jump, not necessarily a good idea, but you can take a fraction of a second if you over jump a little bit and go a little bit fast, but he's driving clean here.
Is he going to overdrive this? Is perhaps the pressure on Brian Deegan so much that he'll make some mistake?
Brian Deegan is one of the most experienced racers in this field. He knows better than that. He is going to be driving hard, but hopefully not too hard. I see him go wide there on the corner, and maybe I eat my words.
And you see those tough blocks, the foam blocks that delineate the course being bounced all over the place. Brian going from right to left. He's trying to get a really good fast line on that dirt, but he really has to chase down Tanner Faust now. Millen still in third, Hubernet in fourth.
Brian and Tanner racing against each other. Two incredibly skilled drivers with different styles, and Deegan is going to be fighting hard to try and chase down Tanner here. It's going to be very tough.
Brian really seems to be drifting those corners. He's pulling them out pretty wide. Tanner slowing down for that turn, wants to be smart over the gap jump. Maybe a little bit short maybe for Tanner there.
Two very different styles. Tanner Faust takes more of a road race line, tarmac line, very tidy and neat through the corners. Whereas Brian Deegan, with all of his dirt experience in the short course series, is a little bit wider, a little bit crazier, a little bit sloppier, but you know what? It works for him, so I can't criticize it.
And you saw the smoke coming off Deegan's tires there. He's trying to find a line that gains him some advantage. Remember what he said, these cars have a time limit. What might you do to these tires if you really push that hard?
By the end of these few laps, you don't know, maybe the tires go off. You don't have as much grip as you're expecting as you start a lap on tarmac. It's going to be interesting to see what happens, but right now they're just holding on to position. Brian seems to be doing really well around that long right-hander, maybe clawing back a little fraction of a second every time he goes through it.
And after a long championship with 2 laps left to go, first and second in the championship are also first and second in this race. Tanner Faust leads. Brian Deegan with the angry red eyes in the Ford Fiesta behind. This is phenomenal. I can't believe that Brian managed to get himself through from that start, but he really needs to make up some ground to catch Tanner Faust for the win in the race.
Just incredible driving, and he is not going to give up. He's going to keep at it here and try and reel in his teammate.
The white flag is flying for Tanner Faust. This is the final lap. If he races smooth, he will win the championship here in Las Vegas. Brian Deegan charging hard behind in second.
Look at him go. He is a little bit wild on those corners and not making up any time. Tanner Faust over the jump. Brian Deegan right behind him and into that long right-hand sweeper where Brian Deegan has been doing incredibly well, just getting it rotated and coming around that turn.
And here comes Faust to the checkers. Tanner Faust wins in Vegas, wins the 2012 Global RallyCross Championship.
And we see him already doing his victory donuts as the other competitors are coming across the line. Boy, is he happy.
That is Tanner Faust. He is your champion after a fantastic win here tonight, holding off a hard charging field. Just awesome, smooth racing. And he is a very, very happy man.
And here's Brian Deegan, who really gave it his best shot here. Incredible driving to come back from the last row.
And he's smiling, he's doing the donuts as well he should. It's been a fantastic season for these two drivers. And remember, Brian already has won a championship in Pro 2 trucks. So he's already having a great year. Second place here in Global Rallycross Championship standings. But tonight, it was really all Tanner Faust, the class of the field.
And that is 2 championships in a row. He just successfully defended his Global Rallycross Championship for year 2. Can't wait to see what he tries to do for year 3.
Take it. Here's the start. You see on the left, that's
wow.
Faust. It's
Tough
all clean.
start
On the right, Brian Deegan having to fight through traffic, and fight he does.
I can't believe how close he got to getting around Tanner Faust in that first corner. Just got hung up in some traffic and couldn't hold on to that.
And Timur Zanoff in the middle there had a bad start. And Brian, look at him. Look how fast he goes around the outside of Bryce Menzies and never takes his foot off the gas.
Brian Deegan's incredible racecraft took advantage with Timur blocking some of that middle traffic to just try and come in, but he went a little bit wide there and got pushed offline and ended up slotting in fourth.
And leaned a little bit on the dodge dart of Bryce Menzies, who then tags him back again, getting hung up there behind Reese Millen. And this is the smart part where he takes the jump as Tanner takes the shortcut. Then Brian Deegan takes the shortcut.
And we want to see if he comes out in front, and he just can't quite do it. It's maybe worth 4 seconds in there, and he just didn't have it.
And so that leaves it to Tanner Faust, who comes across the line, first place in the race, and the championship win for a very happy Tanner Faust. There's your champion rolling back across the finish line, waving hello to the Las Vegas fans. A lot of the fans coming over from the SEMA show, the whole automotive industry here this week in Las Vegas. And they will be celebrating Tanner Faust, and I can tell you, he will be celebrating well into the evening here in Las Vegas. There are your results from Las Vegas.
Tanner Faust, second race win in the series and gets a championship right there. Brian Deegan, then Reese Millen coming in third. Sam Hubinet, Thomas Heikkinen, Dave Mira, Bucky Lassick, Bryce Menzies, just great.
So it all goes down to the championship win here by winning the race. Look at that, 94-84. Tanner Faust will take it. Hubinet stays in third place. Reese Millen actually moves up into fourth with some great driving here tonight. And just an awesome run all night long. And I love the never say die attitude of Brian Deegan. And he certainly threw a Hail Mary. And Alyssa Ronig, we believe you have both first and second, Tanner and Brian.
All right, I'm down here with these teammates. Tanner, I'll start with you. Come in here as the defending champion.
Woo!
Win it again, won both finals.
Yeah.
Again, the little deja vu all over again.
Oh, man. You know, it definitely wasn't, the best thing about it is it was a fair race. You know, Brian had some bad luck in the heats. He got bumped back to the back row. That sort of went away when we had the red flag, and he got to race straight up front, and first and second, freaking awesome. Yeah!
Out of that start, were you surprised to see him in the second place spot? Did you know he was there?
I didn't know exactly where he was, but I knew there was some carnage in the back for sure, and you know, he got through it. So it's a good thing that that I had a good result, because if I didn't and he took second place, then I would have lost the championship. So.
All right, so Brian, 2010 X Games, you won that race out of the LCQ. Thought we were going to see that again today. What did you change up coming out of that first turn?
Oh man, I just basically had to go for it. I just shut off my brain and said, all right, it's all or nothing at this point. You got nothing to lose. Went through the last chance the hardest way and started in the last row. Somehow I came through that first turn. I don't know how I outbroke everyone and went around them. And me and the orange car got into it. And then I picked the Joker lap a lap later, and it worked out perfect. I almost passed Tanner on the Joker coming out. I was like, whoa, that was a good Joker lap. And I came out, he just drove good. I heated my tires. I came straight off last chance into that, so my tires were dust. I did the best I could to hang in there, but it is what it is. Second sucks, but to Tanner, he's my teammate. We dominated, Ford 1-2. What can you say? There's always next year, right?
All right, Brian, exactly. Always next year. All right, back up to you guys.
Oh, fantastic. Brian Deegan doesn't look too upset, and we get to catch our breath, but just for a minute, folks, because in 2013, X Games expands. Take a look at this schedule, all the way from Aspen in January to LA in August. The new stops, Foz do Iguaçu, Barcelona, Munich, and Jen, that was a great run for the championship.
Absolutely, so close, right until the end, right until the final round. I love this motorsport. It's one of the most exciting motorsports there is, RallyCross. Action-packed every single heat. There's a start, a finish, or a pass. How can you beat that?
It was so much fun, and there's the guy who's having the most fun here. Well, that's it for Global Rallycross Championship from here at SEMA in Las Vegas. Don't forget, log on to xgames.com/GRC to enhance your rally experience. Thanks to all of our ESPN GRC crew. This has been a great year. Coming up next, the 2012 Rawlings Gold Glove Awards. So long from Las Vegas, everybody. We look forward to seeing you in 2013.
Okay, I'm back. I'm ready. Vacation's over. Disembodied voice.
Hello, Max. How was your 76,776.5-hour break?
Tremendous. What'd I miss?
Oh, nothing much, Max.
Really?
Really?
Then I'm going back on vacation.
True, Max.
Never saw that coming.
What a sight for surprise.
Come on, I did not see that coming. All right, guys, you ready? Let's do this. 10 topics, maybe one winner. Who knows? It's the 10-year anniversary special. Disembodied boys, let's go around. Yeah.
Wow. Roll back.
It's Around the Horn, presented by Guinness Black Lager, part of Happy Hour. Here's Tony Riel.
Tony.
How great was that opening? Hey now, the peerless, fearless Max Kellerman, the one and only disembodied voice Bill Wolf. There would be no show without him. Thanks so much to them for taking this time to kick off the 10-year anniversary special right. Bill, Woody, Michael, Bob, you ready?
Happy anniversary.
Let's do this.
It's the first word.
The last two shows we started with the winless Lakers, Bill Plaschke. This one thing I know is true, mute. Today, it's the winless Thunder, beardless and winless. Durant, Strip, Parker, the winner. OKC losing the rematch of the Western Conference Finals and the first game without James Harden. How much did they miss Harden last night? And do you think it'll be a problem going forward, Bob Ryan?
The way I'm framing this is that they made a decision to take Serge Ibaka over James Harden. That's a very interesting decision. I don't approve of that. I don't approve of that decision. But I don't want anybody to overreact to this whole circumstance here. They have played the one game. They have got a long way to go to figure out how to play their life after Harden. They've got Kevin Martin. He's a player who scores a lot of points, but he's certainly not loved and not respected for reasons that, well, we're going to find out, aren't we, in this new circumstance. He may be good enough to help them go over the hump. And second, also, Eric Maynor didn't play last year.
So you have some faith in Maynor and you have faith in Martin. Bob Ryan said he doesn't want anyone to overreact. This is the 10-year anniversary. Have you seen the last 10 years?